Hey guys, today I'm just gonna give you a little tour of the shop. What we're working on, we've got things kind of spread out at the moment. Right now we're baking the paint on this 69 GTX. We painted this about a week ago. It's sat in here for roughly a week, and now we're starting to bake it with the infrared light, get the panels nice and warm, make that clear dry really well before we start sanding and buffing on this. Out here we've got a mess of stuff going on. We've got the Buick. It's a 74 Buick Electra. We're putting a LS3, crate LS3, 525 horse LS3 in. Tyler's been working on getting everything in the engine bay mocked up and ready to go. Today he built that cold air intake and made it. We're trying to keep this as stock appearing as possible. Even though it's an LS with a fancy cover and all that, we're gonna end up painting a lot of this as if it was the original 455, the red block, some red accents on the motor, things like that. We've got our radiator, a vintage air setup in, oil coolers, trans coolers, all the fun stuff. Got our AC lines kind of hidden down behind the fenders, got some holes welded shut in the firewall. This is gonna be a really cool build. I'm excited to see this one get rolling here. So this is a LS3 with a 4L80. Back here we've got some of the GTX parts that have been polished. This was the first batch that we painted for the GTX. We have done our drying process, our infrared baking, like I showed in the booth. These parts have gone through that process, have been sanded and polished for the first time. So now that these have been sanded, opened up, polished, we let these sit for a while. We're gonna go to buffing the car and cut and buff on the car, and then we're gonna put this all back together, hang the doors, the fenders, get everything fit again, and then we'll do a final polish, and this one's gonna be going home. And we've been working on the 95 Camaro a little bit. We've got a couple little areas that we're gonna have to spot prime, but the hood is halfway open right now, so just know that those gaps aren't usually going to be that big, but we've got the hood propped open so we can kind of start doing our jams and open and close the hood and things, but this is getting blocked out with 320 right now. This is CRE 921 on this car, the black epoxy, high build, sandable epoxy. And we did gaps, we did panel to panel and all that on this car. As you can see, the gaps are very nice, and the panel fitment is really nice. We did a lot of modifying on this car. Usually these have a molding that go right here. It's like a triangular molding. We shaved that out, made that sail panel all one piece. Looks a little more Corvette-ish, I guess, if you will. We also took 1.5 inches out of the door handle openings. These door handle openings used to be about this big. We took about 1.5 inches out of them, basically just enough room that you can get your finger under there to pop it open. And that, I think, is really going to make it look a lot sleeker on the side, not having that big pocket. We made a custom hood for this car. He wanted a hood that is different than everyone else's. Every other Camaro hood has some sort of a scoop or indentions or lines. He just wanted a flat, smooth hood, and then his scoop is actually in the bumper. We did the halo conversion too. As you can see, it's got, instead of having 4 rectangular headlights, it's got 2 halos. They're xenon projectors. They should look real cool once they come to life with the paint around them. It's going to look real nice. This is a ZR1 front bumper on here. This body kit fit like absolute garbage. We had to modify pretty much literally every part of it. The headlight openings were different from one side to the other. The scoop wasn't straight. The bumper didn't fit to begin with. Bumper didn't fit. That's why we molded it all together, because it was so far off. So we molded the bumper and the fenders together, and now the front end comes off in one piece. Kind of more like a Corvette also. It's a whole front clip assembly now. It is removable from the car if you need to take it on or off to, if you're doing an engine, changing the engine or doing major work like that. It will be removable from the car still, so it's not technically molded to the car. It's just molded to the fenders. The rear burger panel, as they call this, taillight fill panel is more accurate, but they call this a burger panel on a Camaro. from the factory, this Camaro is just indented. You can kind of see it in the paint when it's from the factory. So what we did is cut these all out, and we're going to put a lens behind here, and this is actually going to be a taillight when the car's done. The Camaro will light up when you hit the brakes. In here we got the 70s Chevelle we've been doing a lot of blocking on, getting this thing ready for another round of CRE, which is what's on this right now. If any of you guys been following along, you've seen the videos with this car. We've been blocking on this. I've been kind of back and forth. I've maybe got, I don't know, 15 hours or so in my side here, and my side is basically ready to go to 150, except for a couple minor areas. But got about 15 hours on this side. So we've been doing panel to panel on this car. As you can see when you look down the side, it's going to be very nice. I'm pretty excited about this one. This is going to be black. It's been a couple years since I've done a black car, and I really like super straight black. It really gives us a good chance to show what the blocks will do and what we can do here. So when I talk about gaps, like we're getting ready to do gaps on that Buick, what I mean is we set these panels up, we set the metalwork up so that when we do panel to panel, these gaps, we shoot for 3/16. So these gaps will be beautiful when we're done. We shoot for 3/16 gaps, and we panel to panel everything so everything fits perfectly when we're done. And back here we've got a 29 Dodge that we are doing a spot repair on. This car is painted. It's been done for a couple years, and he had some blistering going on back here that we're fixing. So we fixed that today, got some primer on that. This will be getting painted this week. We'll have a video coming up on that as well.